Streaming live.
All right, we are officially live. It's that time again, y'all. Listen, another episode of ColumbusBlack.com Support Black Business Series. Here we are. I am the founder and CEO of ColumbusBlack.com. So I'm excited to be here with you all once again today. As you all know, or many of you may know, we are an omni-channel online platform that provides our community with a connection to commerce and culture. We've been around for 15 years. When it comes to commerce, what we do is we connect people to businesses like what we're about to do tonight, right? Once again. Then when we talk about culture, it's about making sure that we all know about the events, the activities, the cool things going on in the capital city to keep us engaged and to be able to enjoy the city from a lifestyle perspective. So with that being said, that's a little bit about us. Make sure you check us out at ColumbusBlack.com. This event tonight is actually sponsored by the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College, right? So that's really, really cool, and we appreciate them. They provide free advisory services, right? So they have counselors. They provide free advisory services to small businesses, right? So no reason for us to not utilize them. Just like this show, this is a free show. No reason for you to not have free marketing, free exposure, free advisory services. So come on, y'all. If you're a Black-owned business, you need to be taking advantage of all of this free because we do like free. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump on in. I'm excited because I think y'all are going to learn something new tonight. Well, y'all do every time. Y'all are going to learn something new tonight about our special guest that we actually have with us, Anthony. Some people call him Sizzle Perry, right? So the cool part is he's going to tell us a little bit about himself, his business that he has up and coming so that we can then wrap up, as we always do, on how we're going to support him to be successful, because that's what this show is all about, right? COVID showed us something, and we started this, so we're at 20, this is our 26th episode since COVID hit last March. So we want to keep this thing going. We want to keep supporting our Black-owned businesses and make sure that they're successful. But with that being said, that's enough about me talking about what we do. It's time for us to talk about you. So, Anthony, pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome to ColumbusBlack.com Support Black Business Series. Why don't you kick us off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the business and all that stuff and how you even got there, because we want to tell your story and talk about the journey.
Well, yeah. Well, like you kind of hip into the game already, Anthony. But everybody calls me Sizzle for the most part. You know, I tell them it ain't hot if it don't. So like you can start with the Sizzle.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so I founded Crafted Culture Brewing Company. It really just started off as a brand. It wasn't quite a brewery yet. I was really obsessed with trying to recruit more people to get into craft beer, because everywhere I went, I was finding myself the only Black person in the tap room. At the time, I was one of like 3 Black beer sales reps that I could find in the city, you know.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we didn't even all have the same route, so it was hard to try to catch us all on the same day, you know. So it's literally, you go into one of these accounts and you be the only Black person they saw that day. It's very likely like you was the only Black sales rep that somebody saw. And just to kind of like get away from tokenism, I was like, we need a place where, you know, somebody's actively reaching out to our community. So like Crafted Culture kind of became what I did with that. We wanted to kind of play with beer, play with the words a little bit, right? Okay. Because you craft beer and you culture yeast.
Okay.
Right?
Break it down. Hold on. Before you go further, I want you to keep that thought for me.
You got it.
We do something on this show. When you start dropping knowledge, I start doing this. That means you're dropping gems. Those are gem drops, right? And you already got started. So I want to make sure everybody knows what I'm doing when I start doing this, because I feel it coming. So break that down again for those that don't know.
Right. So it's more than just creating this space where we can consume in comfort, right? Because you're always concerned, especially as an African American in this world, like when you go somewhere at night and you consume alcohol, how many suburbs do you got to go through before you make it back to your house, right? You know, how many people are going to look like you in that area? How do they treat people that look like you in that area? So we was like, yo, it's bigger than just beer for us. Yeah, we craft beers and we culture yeast to bring you these beverages, right?
Right.
But we also need to craft a space that promotes the culture that we live in. So that's where Crafted Culture came from.
Drop it, keep going. Yes, love it. So there's always something behind the names. I always love it when I have businesses on and we talk about their names and how did they come up with the name, and that's just so perfect. So keep going. Thank you.
Definitely, you know, but we're glad to be here, man. Like we was fighting for space, trying to find space in East Columbus for a while, right?
Yeah.
We finally found there was 2 churches that were abandoned, right? We was going to try to buy one of them. Then COVID hit and they dropped the prices. The buyers were literally like, nah, screw all the financing offers. We dropping the price on this building. We want cash.
Okay.
We wasn't cash rich.
Right.
We didn't have the cash. So we was like, yo, we out. There's nothing we can do. So then I was like, you know what? I got approached to go into another building in over in East Columbus, in Old Town East.
Okay.
And the price wasn't bad. We're talking like $16 a square foot, triple net. So that's not that bad. We're talking like $80,000 on the year, maybe, right?
Right.
That's a good price, knowing that, you know, what we was going to do. We weren't scared of that number. But then I sat down and I was like, wait a minute. This building is in an impact zone. The city is putting money out there, right?
Yeah.
But this neighborhood is about to go up. Now, what happens when I sign a 5-year lease, a 7-year lease, or a 10-year lease, and this neighborhood gets popping, my lease is up, and they jack my rent up.
Yeah.
For me to stay there. And I was like, I'm not trying to get priced out of my neighborhood. So I was like, now we got to get cash rich so that we can buy a spot. Because I'm not renting in the hood. We're going to buy back the block. That's the first thing, right? You know, we were conditioned in these last couple generations, right, to rent in the hood and buy in the suburbs.
Okay.
Trying to get us out the hood. Instead of teaching us to reinvest in our neighborhoods, they taught us to love someone else's and go chase that. Right? They taught us to chase the American dream and not craft the African American dream.
Okay.
So I didn't want to do that. I was like, I have to buy a spot in East Columbus. Got obsessed with it. Then I found out people were buying property off the land bank and submitting future plans, and they get these properties pennies on the dollar.
The what? The land bank? What are you talking about?
Oh, the land bank is like a library, right? It's full of all these buildings and plots of land that the city has the title to. They really don't want them. They just want to make sure the people who have them do something good with them. So they sell them for pennies on the dollar to anybody who's got a good plan.
Stop it. Pennies on the dollar?
I tell no lies.
Dropping gems.
I tell no lies. So you can go to, it's like landbank.org or .gov, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, the land bank is a thing. You can Google Columbus Land Bank and you'll get some stuff. Like,
so here's the deal, right? This is why we always want people to come on the show, but we always want people to listen and watch this show. And some people are gonna watch this show right now, some people are gonna watch it later. I don't care when you watch it, but I need y'all to understand the knowledge that is being shared when you just pay attention for a little bit. Now, he just gave somebody a major golden nugget that they had no idea about. But we're going to keep on going because he's just getting warmed up. Go ahead. I'm back to you, Sizzle. It's getting hot.
I'm looking through the land bank trying to find a property at this time, and I can't find anything, right? I applied for this national grant. What's called the 8 Trill Pills Grant.
Okay.
Brewdog and Crowns and Hops. Crowns and Hops is the largest Black-owned brewery in the United States right now. Okay. They had a $100,000 grant that they put together, and they was breaking this up to go to 4 different breweries.
Okay.
So we applied for this grant, and on December 23rd, they announced the winners. My thought was, I know what I got is strong, right? I got a real purpose behind what I'm doing. A lot of folks like just so happen to be making beer. Like I understand both sides of this industry. My use of funds I felt was really tight, but on the 23rd, they didn't call my name.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't get that grant. My plan was to use that money to get something off the land bank and really start to, you know, to buy back the block. But when I didn't get it, I kid you not, man, I spent like 3 hours just kind of walking outside, just walking. Like I was dejected. I was like, man, I'm kind of done. This is 3-4 years in the game doing this thing. That was like my biggest shot. I missed it, you know. I felt like Kobe when he airballed in the 4th quarter back in the rookie year, you know, like, Dak. Like,
that was it. Like, took everything out. Yeah.
And I thankfully, you know, I got guys like who work with me, like Zach and Peyton, who partnered with me on this project. I got my brother Dominic. They all got in my ear and they were like, bro, like, you can't stop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't break down before you break through, homeboy.
You drop gems. Go ahead. That support network, that positivity.
Exactly.
Keep going. I'm feeling it. Keep going.
So I literally, I got a call from another buddy of mine who works in beer. I was like, I heard there's a building that somebody's trying to get rid of. I was like, all right, send it my way. He sent it to me. I was like, man, it's in Gahanna. I know I went to Gahanna Lincoln High School, but I want to be in East Columbus. And I looked at the deal and I was like, I can't pass this up. Like, this deal is too good. So on New Year's Eve, I sat down with somebody. Like, I literally was like, I know it's New Year's Eve, brother, but can we talk? Can we talk to, like, on New Year's Eve? Like, I'll come to you wherever you're at.
Focused.
Let's have a conversation, right? So we sat down, we talked, we lined up terms, and next thing you know, January 11th, I picked up the keys to this building, and I became the first Black-owned brewery in Central Ohio. So I'm sitting here at 505 Morrison Road in Gahanna right now at what used to be Kindred Artisan Ales, and is now the home of crafted culture.
Hold on a second. Let's say this. Did you say the first what? We gotta acknowledge what was just shared. The first what? And I'm gonna drop gems as you say it. The first
Black-owned brewery in Central Ohio.
Powerful. Congratulations. Like, for real, that's so significant. Long time coming. Man, that's awesome. And I know that a lot of people are excited about that. When people hear this, they're going to be even more excited about it. But keep on going. Just have
I appreciate that. I hope everybody kind of realizes the gravity of that, not just from a historical standpoint, but from a fiscal standpoint, right? I'm going to do some math real quick, right?
Yeah, break it down.
Craft beer is a $27 billion industry annually right now, okay? 12% of those dollars are African-American dollars. All right, so let's just do like some bad math real fast. That's $3 billion a year that come out of African-American pockets and go into the craft beer industry, right? All right, now, 7,300 craft breweries in the United States split that $27 billion, okay? 60 of them are Black-owned. So we make up 12% of the gross domestic product that is craft beer, and we are less than 1% of the profit centers.
Less than 1%. I want you to pause there for 1 second, because I'm hoping that this is resonating with a lot of folks, especially that's tied to numbers and math. How many times do we keep having to hear that less than 1% when it comes to the positive aspects of the economic system, right? So when you think about it, less than 1%, whether it's VC funded, whether it's bank loans, whether it's owning a craft brewery, like, it's time for change. So thank you for dropping the math behind it, because the numbers don't lie in the data. The data matters, right? It's important. So keep on going, bro.
But that's not even the biggest nugget, man.
Uh-oh.
Yo, craft beer has a 5% fail rate.
You say 5%?
5% fail rate.
Wow.
So for those of us who need a more optimistic like package on that, 95% of the people who do this succeed.
Right. Yeah, paint the other side of it so they understand it. Wow.
Right.
Wow. Like, so
yeah,
so let me ask you this question, right? So one of the things is, people hear, and we do this all the time on the show, like, people hear this, they hear a little bit about, the work you was doing, and you had a couple of meetings, and guess what? Now you're about to launch, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that, right? And I always say there's a backstory though. Let's just go back a little bit, right? Plus, there's this problem solution piece of a business, right? And because you mentioned that 95% success rate, I want people to understand, because when you get into business, you do certain things, you want to be successful, right?
Right.
So walk me through, like, when the light bulb went off, when you recognized the problem, the solution, and decided this is what I'm going to do, because you were seeing some things, but what was the trigger point for you?
The trigger point for me was I sat down with the CFO of another brewery, and they asked me for some help. My background is in accounting, so I have a deep tax background, right?
Let's hear it.
They asked me for some nuggets on some tax information. Then I started looking deeper into the numbers, and I'm like, yo, hold up, time out, man. This brand is how big? And at the end of the year, your P&L is negative $500,000, and people still investing in this. You losing money, and people still giving it to you. Then I started looking at the cost of goods, right? I check out the cogs in this thing, right?
Okay.
Put you on the game because
Hold
I'm
on, hold on. When you dropping these gems, what do you mean cogs? What's that? Cost of goods? What?
good sold. How much does it cost you to make a beer? Right?
Okay. I'm sorry. Just want to make sure. Go ahead.
You know, there are some beers out there that when they're made in a high enough volume, cost you pennies to make. I'm talking about 5 cents for 16 ounces. How much you pay for a beer when you go to a bar?
Well, you know it ain't nowhere near any sense.
Exactly. So the margins on this thing are wide open. Right? So I'm like, man, wait a minute. Let's look at operational expenses. Let's look at the cost of the goods that we're selling. Like that's still a healthy cushion, you know?
Okay.
I was like, man, this is how they running straight to the bank with that cushion.
Big bags too.
You sit comfortably when the cushion that big.
Woof.
So I was like, how come more of us aren't getting that cushion?
Okay.
And I was like, how can I get it? Like, where's it at? I started researching things. Like, I literally Googled one night, like, why Black people don't like craft beer. That was a question I put into Google.
Okay.
And you know what the jacked up part is?
What's that?
Google had answers.
Google normally have answers. It was some learning going on that night.
But for a question like that, you think you're about to, I'm like, man, this is some crazy stuff to ask Google, but I'm gonna ask, right? That's like if you walk to your mama's house right now, it's like, Mom, I need like 300,000. And she was like, here you go, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how that felt.
Right.
And I'm reading all this stuff, but all the research is coming from white folks. And I'm not mad at it because, you know, I don't care where the information is at. I got to go get it.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
But in that, I started to realize that there's Black roots in this brewing industry that people have overlooked.
Okay, drop the gems.
All right, because we did a little bit of math earlier. I guess we got to do a little bit of history now, right?
Absolutely.
So
pay attention to this, y'all. He's talking about history and knowing the past, because I'm going to bring this back later on. Y'all already know. Go ahead.
So in this beer game, we've kind of been conditioned, especially over like the last like 30 years, right? To believe that this brewing industry is a white man's game, right?
Okay.
You always, when someone says like, you know, who drinks craft beer, like market research, who's the stereotypical craft beer consumer? It's normally like a dude in a flannel shirt or a vest with a Mario handlebar mustache.
Okay.
Right? They never look like us. That's not the stereotypical consumer.
Right.
But what they didn't tell you is that some of the earliest recipes, like documented recipes for fermented beverage, came from ancient Mesopotamian women.
What? He's dropping it.
Yeah. So if we're not familiar with
Mesopotamian women.
Women, right. And Mesopotamian is Egyptian for those of us who don't, you know, who didn't pay attention in
back to the roots.
But I learned later. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can learn late like me. All right.
Better late than never.
Exactly.
So drop that. So once again, y'all, I was saying them gems, keep going.
These ancient Mesopotamian women were brewing fermented beverage in basically clay pots. You see what I'm saying? They were, because the creation of beverage was a culinary, like, you know, venture, right? You were in the culinary field if you were making beverage. So these women would go from making bread to making beverage.
Okay.
And the yeast on their hands from cracking that malt and working that dough, it was fermenting the beverage in those pots. They realized that and they chronicled it. They started to record it, you know. And then I like to say, you know, this is when the biggest bamboozle happened, right?
Okay.
And then we have like the colonization of Africa, and then you got slave trade that happens after this, and you have this moment in time where they steal our books, burn the library, killed the griot so no one could tell the story afterwards, right? Enslaved us, cut us off from the flow of the knowledge, and then sold us the same information back 400 years later at a premium.
At a premium, of course, because it's capitalism. You got to make the money.
Right.
All right.
So I'm like, man, all this was done in beer. I started looking around and I was like, there's a lot of minority brands that are attached to beer, but not necessarily making beer. And then we have all these breweries around that aren't even promoting them. So I said, if I'm going to do this, we're going to promote the minority brands that exist around this. Right?
Okay. Okay.
So I legitimately, and it's funny that we're doing this today, right?
Yeah.
I talked to a distributor, a national distributor. I said, hey, bring me your catalog, but only bring me the minority-owned products that you carry. Right? I said, if it's not minority-owned, I don't want it.
Okay.
All right? Everything they bought me came from California. I'm not mad about that, right? But I'm sitting here with it right now.
Yep.
They bought me Press, which is a hard seltzer company, okay?
Okay.
That's female-owned. They bought me Longevity, this wine company, all right, out of California.
Yeah.
I believe the gentleman who owns that, I couldn't discern what his ethnicity was, but he is a certified minority-owned business.
Okay.
So he's got that moniker. And then they bought me this Indoggo, right?
Okay.
That's Snoop Dogg's gin.
Uh.
But this is a national distributor. Thousands of items in their repertoire, and they only had 3 minority-owned items to bring me today.
Oh, that was it. That was all you had.
That's all they got.
Oh, I thought you was gonna keep on going.
You wanted me to keep on going, right? But I can't. That's all they had for me. But I realized then a lot of us don't know how to capitalize on this production side of this thing. That was an aspect of what we were doing. It was like, yo, when it's time to roll out production, we're gonna team up with other minority-owned businesses and make sure we all in that production together so we can all get that money. Right. These contracts don't pay you a whole lot, but they market for you very well. Getting that distributorship, getting that space on the shelves is important in this prepackaged beverage industry. Not just beer, but any prepackaged beverage. So if you, what was it, Cripa Cola, you know what I'm saying? Those cats, you know what I'm saying, with Killer Mike?
Yeah.
You know, getting that distribution deal didn't pay a lot of money until you did a whole lot of volume, but you got to know how to get there. Because we can't have distributors walking around to these other Black-owned breweries selling them wines and seltzers and gins made by folks that don't look like us.
Right. I got you.
You got to demand diversity in all these establishments when you walk in. So I'm not even going to let anybody demand diversity from me. I got a group of friends that are out in Miami. They're called the Black Psalms, right? Black sommeliers. So they're Black, like wine, certified wine servers, right?
Okay.
Creating a list of all the Black-owned wineries that we have access to in Ohio, so that at Crafted Culture, right, by March, we'll be able to offer a full-on Black-owned wine list. Every list on there is going to come from a Black-owned source that we can reach right here in Ohio.
He is dropping, like, you just body slamming these gems right now, completely. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Taking it to the next level.
We even got minority-owned brands that are going to be on draft during the Soft Open series.
Okay. Okay.
Right? And here's the ill nugget. They're right here in Columbus.
And who knew?
Who knew, right? There's a Middle Eastern guy who makes this stuff called tea beer.
Uh-huh.
Okay? It's called Wild Ohio. It's a gluten-free tea beer.
Okay.
It's going to be on draft over here. Mad Moon Hard Cider. It's an Asian gentleman who owns this place.
Yeah.
He specializes in these semi-sweet, semi-dry ciders made right here off Cleveland Avenue. So he's in the hood. Shout out to Peter Moon. If you see Mad Moon Cider, snatch that up because he's in your neighborhood. Okay. He right there by the alleys on Cleveland Avenue. Like, and don't nobody even know he there.
Okay, drop that name again. Say it so they all hear it.
That's Peter Moon. He makes Mad Moon Hard Cider.
Okay.
I think that it's on Britain's Lane off of Cleveland Avenue. Yeah, go pick up his cider. We got Endeavor Brewing Company. It's a couple, but his wife is like the majority owner in this place. They make beer and they make spirits. So they had vodka, rum, and 2 different kinds of gin. So we're gonna have their beer on draft over here too, and we're working on some cocktails using their spirits because we want to promote minority-owned businesses all across the board. Like,
man, that is really, really, really amazing. That's good stuff, right? So do me a favor, right? You kind of threw it in, you weaved it in there. You mentioned something like soft launch or something like that. So walk us through where you guys are right now, right? Like, where are you with Crafted Culture? And what's next?
So right now, Crafted Culture has reached out to all of our friends in the craft beer industry to see who has some space, right?
Okay.
It's space in your tanks. So because we don't have our brew system over here yet.
Okay, got it.
So we're at these other places. We got beers cooking at different breweries around town, trying to get them ready so that we can get our own beer in here really soon. But it didn't make sense for us to be the first Black-owned brewery in Central Ohio and be closed the first day of Black History Month. So we said, let's do a soft open, right? And until this brand dies, February 1st will forever be For the Culture Day, right?
For the Culture Day.
Yeah. So, so starting at 5 p.m., we're opening up For the Culture February 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations on it. Keep going. I'm listening.
Thank you. So we're doing a series of soft opens. Though. We're not open every day in February. So if you follow us on Facebook at Crafted Culture Brew, Crafted Culture Brewing Company. All right, fellas. Thanks a lot. See, look, we got people in here working right now. We ain't quitting.
Stop. Yeah.
But if you follow us on Facebook, we're dropping the events as they're coming, right? So we've got, I was like 13 events planned for the month of February. And then we want to do like the opening weekend, February 27th and 28th, like just regular hours at that point and let folks come through.
Nice. So, and I got to drop a plug here, right? So Sizzle was just informed of the Mile app, right? Which is our sister company, which is an entertainment platform for you to find things to do, places to go, and food to eat, including drinks, right? So now that's going to be another way where you all will be able to find out what's going on, right, at Crafted Culture, because their information will be on the Mile app. You can quickly go to it. You'll also get a notification when they actually have an event going on or an activity or a happy hour, whatever. It'll let you know automatically. So make sure if you have not downloaded the Mile app, go to the store. It says events curated for you. So Mile, M-Y-L-E, stands for Make Your Life Entertaining. So make sure you check that out. But go ahead, back to you, man. Crafted Culture. So soft openings, progressive days that you'll be open through February, Black History, kicking it off on the 1st at 5. Keep going.
So, I mean, actually, like just today, we had our brewer in here. His name is Zach. Zach he's a wizard with the brew. I'm not even, I can't lie about it, man. The kid is amazing. But because we didn't have our full system here, he was like, hey, what if we did something completely different? What if we served real ale? And I was like, Dad, are people ready for real ale, right? Real ale is like beer made in cask. So it's not even it's not unnaturally carbonated. It barely has any carbonation at all. Gravity pours this beer, right? This is the stuff you see where the guys, they take the hammer and they pound it into the keg and then the beer comes out. Yeah. Those are the kind of beers he wants to make for the end of the month, since all of our equipment isn't here. He's like, I can make stuff for that right now. Wow. So those are the kind of beers he's doing right now. He was just in the back, he was, working on some stuff. And I took some pictures because I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Right. So he took some grain, and it was a Vienna honey malt, okay, that he was using for this beer. I mean, it smells like biscuits back there. Man, it smells sweet. It smells delicious. And then he got really crazy with the ingredients. Like, he's got dried chamomile flower going in this thing, ginger root, lemon peel. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's actually going to introduce some honey to it to help the yeast eat healthier sugars and help the alcohol content climb up without putting harmful ingredients into it. Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, he's dropping some gems back there. What he's doing, you know what that reminded me of for a second, as I know some people can relate to this, especially in Columbus, Ohio, right? Jenny's ice cream.
Yeah.
Flavors and right? Like, oh my, like the stuff, you're not getting this anywhere, right? And that's what I'm picking up right now from Crafted Culture. Like the flavors and the taste, you're not gonna be able to get this anywhere.
I mean, this is craft beer, right? There's no such thing as intellectual property when it comes to your recipes in craft beer, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody, it's okay to be a copycat. You just got to copy the right cat. So we're taking bits and pieces of the best practices that we picked up working for different people around the area, and we putting our spin on it.
Yep, that's right.
One of the things I keep talking about it because I'm gonna keep talking about it until it happens. I'm obsessed with a dessert my grandmother used to make. My nana used to make these. It's called vanilla wafer cake.
Okay.
The real down south thing. But
Yeah.
I told Zach, I was like, I want that in a beer somehow. You know, started talking, and he was like, well, we can utilize the cookies like sugar. We're gonna crush up these wafers and we're gonna put them in to the grain and wash all that sugar off of them. And then when it's ready to start to become a beer and it ferments a little bit, we're gonna let it sit on top of toasted coconuts and candied pecans for a few days. And then we're gonna run it out and carbonate it so folks can taste it.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yo, we cooking soul over here, Kevin. This is not.
Listen, it's about to go down officially. I'm super excited. All right, so yeah, go ahead. What'd you say?
I'm saying you can expect from us. Like, we like to do a lot of fun stuff over here. I know my face is probably new to a lot of people, but we did. I'm not sure how familiar the audience is with Black is Beautiful as a beer. Okay. Amidst everything that happened earlier this year, George Martin, everybody who was wrongfully murdered. Obviously, we can't even. I'm not even going to gratify that with the classy names that they tried to give it, the propagated. Yeah. So a brewery called Weathered Souls out of the Milwaukee area. Okay. They posted this beer recipe online. They called it Black is Beautiful. They said they're going to make this beer and all the proceeds are going to go to social justice initiatives locally. They said, we encourage your brewery to make the same beer or a version of the same beer, but do the same thing with the proceeds. Man, 1,200 breweries picked this thing up internationally and started making this beer, and they're selling this beer all over the country so that, they can get money into these programs to help fund these social justice initiatives.
Okay.
At my previous job, we brewed a giant batch of it, just like the regular recipe that the Weathered Souls folks put online.
Yeah.
But I asked my boss, I was like, yo, can I make one that's different? Just like a small batch, something completely different. He was like, yeah. Beer is music to me. Beer is culture to me. So I was like, if I'm going to make the blackest stout possible, and I'm going to call it Black is Beautiful, I'm going to put the blackest stuff I can find in it, right? So I did this Black is Beautiful stout with blackberries and molasses.
Blackberries and molasses.
Because, if you grew up in Columbus, Ohio, listen to Power 107.5, The Grind, that Mr. joint used to come on every night.
Dude, killing it.
Yeah, so we made that joint. I made that one, and we canned it, and it sold out in a day. Right?
One day.
One day, that's all it took. So this is not new to me, right? We've been doing this beer thing. We've been, coming up with crazy recipes, having kooky ideas.
Yeah.
We just want to have fun with everybody this time. I mean, I can't wait to do my strawberry cognac ale for y'all so I can put that out.
Come on.
Because you remember back in the day, the song by Smooth, Strawberries and Hennessy?
Yes.
That's where it came from. I was just listening to the song. I was like, I bet that tastes good in the beer. I read it.
So flavor, pure flavor.
Crafted culture is cooking soul, I'm telling you.
Cooking soul, and it's gonna taste what? Good.
Yeah,
yeah, man. Listen, that is really, really phenomenal. So let's talk about what does next steps look like, right? So you got the opening coming. What's your goals, right? 3 years, 5 years? What you want to do with this? You're a visionary. We could tell already.
So in 5 years, we should have 4 locations in the state of Ohio.
Okay.
2 of those locations should be in the Central Ohio area, with this first location being in Gahanna, next location being in East Columbus. I ain't forgot where I came from, and I'm not leaving my city till I get back.
All right.
And then we're eyeing cities like Youngstown and Toledo that have large areas that look like East Columbus, so we can empower the next person to do what we're doing right here.
Yep.
Right? We're gonna go into these cities, we're gonna open these joints up, and hopefully somebody else gets inspired. Yo, if you beat me there, I'm saying
so good.
You beat me to any of my target locations,
yeah,
got my support 100%. I got nothing but love for you. I will lay the plan out because the plan is for another Black-owned brewery to be in those areas. It doesn't necessarily have to be mine.
Right. Wow. Yep. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, right? So, and the thing is, we all know, I know we're talking about brew, but we know from a pie standpoint, the pie is big, is enough for everybody to eat, right?
It's
so
a $3
we want
billion
everybody
pie.
to eat. What's that?
It's a $3 billion pie.
Yeah, I'm saying. So let's get it, right? So
Oh.
I feel you. I feel you. All right. So you got the vision for scale and growth and all of that. So let me ask you this on timing. So I want people to understand, because we learned a lot about your background, your foundation, kind of like how you got where you are right now with it. But let's just take a look. So we also understand the vision and the growth piece, right? Mm-hmm. When did you start on this mission though? Like when did you make the decision that you were going to, so I understand time-wise.
So I wrote this idea down in what I call the legacy book about 4 years ago.
Okay.
So it had a different name, but it was like, it wasn't even a real thought. It was like, if I had a brewery, this is what I would call it. And these are the kind of things that I would do. And then a brewery I was working for got closed down, bankruptcy. And when that happened, people were asking me like, yo, well, how would you fix this? How would you pivot this? I shared that idea in that moment. And there was just enough interest to make me think this might be actually a good idea. About 3 years ago, I got that.
Yeah.
But it was also just enough disinterest for me to make me think I might be crazy. So I didn't really hit it hard, right? So like for me, like when it comes to business, like just do what you're passionate about and don't listen to nobody else, man. Because we could have been here a long time. I'm sorry, city. I could have been here a while ago, right? If I had to listen to me, we could have been here a while ago. So that's my bad, right? And stop thinking that it's all about, your immediate resources and your immediate credit. There is some creative financing that's available for people out here. There are some generous benefactors that exist right in your network. I mean, we're kind of taught to keep everything tucked tight, like real close to the cuff, but
close to the vest.
I tell everybody, like, the difference between crafted culture and all these other breweries is my scars will be exposed this whole ride. You're going to see this happen. You're going to see me fly. You're going to see me fall. You're going to see me trip. You're going to see me stand. But I'm not doing it by myself. I mean, even right now in this interview, my man Peyton right over here with me.
Wow. Shout out to Peyton, no doubt. You gave him some props earlier.
Yeah. Yep. And when we finish with this thing, on Saturdays and Sundays, Peyton going to be outside firing up the grill with the mean barbecue.
It's going down.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome, and you already know, and we're gonna get to this in a minute. It's gonna be on and popping, man. So excited, super excited for that. So let me ask you, so COVID, right? So COVID-19 came in. One of the things we talk about with our business owners is it impacted everybody a little bit differently, right? So March it hit. I had businesses on here, man, in April and May and June, and some were like, man, it's been really tough and difficult. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And I had a lot of others that was like, my business has never been better, right? So how did, with you like having this idea and getting in the process and all these changes, you already mentioned some of the stuff like even with the buildings, but how did COVID-19 impact you and your mission and your vision?
So the mission and the vision never really changed, right?
Okay.
Our mission is simple: beer the change. Beer the change you want to see in this world. Beer the change you want to see in your community. Beer the change you want to see for your people, right? We've always been trying to use beer and actually rebrand what beer means to Black people, because it's been propagated that beer is like the devil. Alcohol is the devil in a lot of, faith-centered African-American homes. When really it could be lining your pockets and you could be putting more in your ties envelope, okay? But so for us, that never really changed.
Okay.
The biggest impact that COVID had for us, as far as a mission standpoint, is the cost of entry into this industry dropped tremendously.
Great opportunity.
Exactly. A lot of people walking around talking about Sizzle, you lucky. I was like, yep, because when preparation meets opportunity, fools call it luck. I've been prepared for this.
Come on, man. I didn't even get to put my water down. You kept dropping these gems.
Listen.
About to make me spill water on the floor.
This was just the best time to pull it off because we got in for a price that made sense. You know?
It's like that buy right situation, right? They tell them, you know, we got a lot of people invest in real estate, right? Everybody's on real estate. You know, if you buy right, when it's time to sell, you good. Exactly. This is a great opportunity. You got in at the right level.
That was the move. That's what COVID did for us. It also, you know, like on some offshoot, kind of created license for people to act a fool, right?
Okay.
And when people started acting a fool, what's that?
Yeah. What you mean by that?
I mean, these white folks wilding out in the country right now.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, you went there.
COVID made that possible, right? It made that possible. They went stir crazy. They didn't have nothing else to do. You know, so what they say, idle time, right? That idle time got folks acting a fool out here. And acting a fool, there's enough people with large enough megaphones to draw attention to it. So thank you, social media, because when people saw what was happening around the country, they realized it's not just my neighborhood. It's not just me, right? There's a serious generational imbalance that's here right now. And when we highlighted that, it also showed us that gap that we needed to run through to kind of create more opportunities for minority-owned businesses. So you had a lot of people who reached out to us and were like, oh, we want to see this happen, man. Like, you know, when that Black is Beautiful thing happened and those 1,200 breweries internationally picked it up, a lot of my friends who didn't really rock with beer gave me a call and was like, yo, this beer stuff is popping up. Do you know about this? I'm like, know about it. I already made it twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, word, is this the kind of stuff you're going to do at your brewery? I was like, yeah. And they was like, oh, well, here, bro. Like, I ain't got a lot of bread, but here's 25. Here's 50. You know, so we put up a crowdfund to start doing it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Our crowdfund, we asked for $25,000. We only got 2,500, but don't worry, it's still open, okay? It's not too late to really drive all the way home.
Oh, so hold on. Let's back up here because we're going to get to a question in a minute that says, and we're going to jump right in right now because we're running out of time anyway, is how can we support you in being successful, right? As a community, how do we come to, because I'm going to tell you right now, before you even answer that question, I'm going to tell you what I see, right? I see, again, proud of you, Sizzle. Congratulations. Long time grinding, long time. Beer, be the change, right?
Yeah.
Right? And I got to go back to the other one. And I saw something a moment ago. Somebody said that they wanted to get behind you. They want to franchise. Somebody said something about franchising already, right? So here's the deal. I know, especially as people watch this over the next 48 hours, when it comes to how they can support you through this crowdfunding, what do they need to do? Where do they need to go?
So we got a crowdfund on GoFundMe right now.
Okay.
The title on it is Equity and Inclusion in Craft Beer. Okay.
Got it. Equity and inclusion in craft beer.
Yeah. And I'll shoot you the link. You can share it to the people. Like, I'm glad to. We tell people, like, look, we need $25,000 and we only ask anybody to give us $25, right? Yeah. Because I'm tired of people, you know, overcharging us to gain entry into this thing. Like, so just $25 and you can take pride in what we're doing right now. Okay. That's going to allow me to redo the flooring here so we can put in a system that allows us the agility and the flexibility to make all these crazy beer flavors whenever we feel like it.
Okay.
You don't have to like drive all around town. So if we get that 25K, then we're going to be in the house when it comes to that. The other thing that you can do is just stop through, right?
Just that easy?
It's that easy. 505 Morrison Road in Gahanna.
Come on. That's it. Just drive through. Now, obviously, once you get there, you're going to have to sip on that brew, but
you can try this Culture Vulture IPA I'm sipping right now.
Culture Vulture IPA.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make folks uncomfortable in here ordering beer.
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
Our first two beers going on is a Bliggity Black Milk Stout and the Culture Vulture IPA. And then we're going to feature 8 other beers and craft beverages from other places around the city. So
let me ask you this, right? Because it's COVID-19, right? And it's 2021 right now. Mm-hmm. We want to be safe, right? Some people ain't trying to get out like that. Right, but I'm gonna tell you what, they listening to this and they like, hold up, can I order and pick up a couple of brews and go?
So right now, the cost of packaging beer is tremendous. So we're not packaging right now.
Okay.
But if you have, in the industry, we call it glassware. So if you have a growler or a howler that you bring in, and you can Google these terms, these things are not expensive. You can bring them into the store, into us, and we'll fill them up for you.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll clean it, we'll sanitize it, we'll fill it with our beer for you, and you can take our beer home and enjoy it from there.
Stop it. Stop it.
I mean, you know, I clean this place like my grandma coming in. So like they was joking on me, right? It smelled like bleach and pine sol in this place for like 2 days straight. We had to air it out.
Nice. Okay, he was raised right, y'all. Y'all hear that? Like his grandma was coming up in there. He know what that's gonna be like. So make it right. Okay, so you got the crowdfunding piece going on, right? You're gonna send the information. So here's the challenge, right? Because y'all know I advocate for our businesses. So 25K, right? So we need 1,000 people basically at $25 a pop, right? So here's the deal, y'all. We make so many things go viral, and we got, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 views in 2 or 3 days. Come on, let's be real about this. So what I'm gonna ask everybody to do right now, because we got some people watching, I'm gonna ask each person to share, right? Now we already got some shares on there, but I want to see this number just go bananas in the next 24 hours. People are gonna be watching this tonight, tomorrow. I'm gonna boost this myself. I'm gonna get it to over 1,000 views myself, right? In the next 24 to 36 hours. I need everybody else to come to the table, make sure the views get out there. $25, and we can help support this and make it happen. Just like that. No excuses. Come on, y'all. All right. He did his part. His team did their part. Now it's up for us to help support the success. All right. And by the way, so that everybody knows, right? It's a Black-owned business, right? We're a Black-owned platform. But we have a lot of allies that are not Black, that's watching this, that are going to support. They're going, guess what? They're going to roll up the 505 Morrison. That's it, right? 505 Morrison?
5 Morrison, you got it.
And guess what? They're going to be sipping on this good drink, right? So you need to be able to support. Guess what? They'll make the $25 contribution. We need to help support as well. I'm going to leave it there. I'm getting off my my bandwagon. So listen. So the comment was, again, proud of you, sis. Congratulations. And then it was definitely, I'm ready to franchise with you, brother. So you'll be able to see the comments, right? And somebody said, I love it all. Open your appetite for progressive generational wealth and longevity, right?
I got
You're seeding it now. It says you're seeding it now, bro. Can't be stopped. You've took the door off the hinges. Proud of you, bro. Come on. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Love so that. I wanted you to know the love that's out there for you and what you're doing. And that means keep it going. All right. So here's the deal, Sizzle. This has been a little hot. All right. So
sizzle, baby. That's what happened. You put a little sizzle in it, things get hot.
That's what you said. He dropped the disclaimer at the beginning, right? so check this out. This is what I want to do to wrap up. Is when we have people on the show, there's two things. One is I want you to share how people can get in contact with you, right? So if somebody is looking to get behind what you're doing, support what you're doing, whatever it may be, wants to work for you, whatever it is, how do they get in contact with Crafted Culture or you? And then the second thing is if there's anything that you have not shared that you were like, man, when I'm on this show tonight, I want to make sure I share this. If it's anything, because I don't want you to be like, man, I missed it. I want you to drop that too. Okay.
Got you. So you can hit me directly. It's craftedculturebrew@gmail.com.
Okay.
All right.
craftedculturebrew@gmail.com. Okay.
Correct. That hits this phone right here, the one I use to talk to my kids. Right.
Nice.
Also, I mean, the only thing I really didn't say is that beer is a family business. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a time in history where every community had their own brewery prior to Prohibition. And when I tell you that this beer is a family business, like I call Peyton my brother. We've been rolling tight for 20 years, man. You know, my kids came in here and my kids was in here painting some of the barrels that we're going to use to create artwork in the back of the brewery. They was down here, you know, scrubbing the wood and cleaning the floors and washing the bathrooms. Like my whole family takes pride in what this thing is right now. This is not just some dude who was out there, you know, this is for mine. This deal makes sense so that my kids can get dollars later on. The chances are that I probably won't see the profits out of this thing, right? Mm-hmm. But they will reap the benefit over time. And that's why we out here. I got a gang of kids. Peyton got kids. Zach has kids. Between the three of us, there's 13 kids, I think.
Wow.
So this thing is here for families, you know. Like, we inviting your families in here. We're going to have craft soda available for the kids. They can get soda made with real cane sugar and stop fooling with this high fructose corn syrup.
Ooh, dropping.
This is bigger than beer for us. I said that before, but it's bigger than beer. Beer is family. We crafted culture. We're going to keep crafting culture until we beer the change we want to see in this industry, this community, this city, and in our lives.
Beer the change, y'all. Beer to change, and this is bigger than beer. Come on, you dropping all kind of nuggets out here. I'm gonna have to get with you on the marketing and messaging so we can go ahead and drop that knowledge out here. But no, that is super flavor, right? Literally. All right, pun intended. So there you go, right? So with that, is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up and let you get back to that beer?
Now, I just love and appreciate everybody who's loving and appreciating us. This has been beautiful. I'm glad for this opportunity to speak to people, and I hope some other nerdy black kid out there hears this and goes, "Oh snaps, I can do some beer shit," and does it. Pardon my French.
There you go. And he didn't just drop them gems. He dropped the mic on that one, y'all. We're gonna let it go, right? So listen, here we go. So Sizzle, thank you so much for the opportunity to have you on the show. I want to give a shout out to my man Dami Styles, right? Because he was the one that said you need to holler, right? So shout out, and that's how it works, right? We tell people all the time, spread the word, spread the word. This is a free opportunity. Why? Because there's power in this, and we want to share. That's what God gave me the platform to be able to share this stuff with our community, and here it is. So let's use it. Let's support each other. That's the reason for ColumbusBlack.com Support Black Business Series, sponsored by the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College, which is another big deal. And we're happy and excited to focus on crafted culture and Anthony Sizzle Perry and his team for doing all the work that you guys have been doing. We appreciate it. Y'all are adding value to our community, and looking to scale and grow. And that is powerful in itself, right? Generationally, they're making a difference. There's a lot of people that are going to see this and say, I can too. There's value in this. So make sure each of you, I'm asking you to share this right now. If you're watching this, all I need you to do is share it. Just spread the word, right? And then I want you, we dropped the link already in there for the GoFundMe. So they'll be able to go ahead and click that link. So shout out to my executive admin, Tam, for getting that to me in seconds and making sure we can get it on there, all right? So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up as we always do. Remember, check us out at ColumbusBlack.com. If you need to reach out to us, you want to promote or advertise your business, you want to use our recruiting services on our job board, you want to get the information out there, send us an email at info@ColumbusBlack.com. Check us out. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. So when we drop knowledge like this and we have special guests like this, that you don't miss it, right? That's the reason why you click that like button. That's the reason why you follow us. That's why you subscribe, okay? And make sure you go to the website and sign up for our newsletter, because we send out a weekly e-blast or multiple e-blasts, letting you know all the cool things that's happening. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up in our normal fashion. In order to be more successful in your future, you need to understand a little bit more about your past. That's the reason why we just had Anthony Sizzle Perry talking about crafted culture and put them on blast. With that being said, y'all, I'm going to end in the way that I always do. Y'all know what it is, y'all. I'm out. Have a good one, everybody. Take care, stay blessed, and mask up. All right. Bye-bye.